Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a map that has absolutely no right to be anywhere near as good as it has ended up turning out to be. It's not the world's greatest map, but it's very solid and all the niggles are just, well, niggles really. Now, when I say it's no right to be as good as it is, that's because...
It's my first map.
That's right. It's surprising. It's surprising, and there's a hell of a lot of things to look at on this map. A hell of a lot. So we're going to be flying over it faster than, say, Lewis Hamilton on his way to a Black Friday opening. It's going to be a little bit of a whiz on the eyes, I'm afraid. And even then, it's going to be a long show. But if you approve of this kind of behaviour, then do let me know by hitting the behaviour button. That's right, hitting the behaviour button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Rocky Green Valley by stevensdomi. Now the valley is a lowercase v, I haven't made a typo there. Stevens, what are you doing? Let's have a look at the start square, that is pretty one. You wait till you see that roundabout, lovely I tell you. The terrain heights are very flat throughout where there is build plane, which is also very nice indeed. And then the resources splodge, 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 and I mean that in a good way. Okay, let's head off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Montebello theme, Laviante LUT. Second time this week, Laviante. You don't get a LUT in months, and then you get it twice in a week. Okay, there is a one-click collection, which I happened to miss on my first fly-through, which is a bit embarrassing. Having read it all, I didn't even see it. There's a whole bunch of things to subscribe to, 59 of them. One or two of them aren't necessary, and a few of them, honestly, the map didn't really need. And the map isn't as glorious as it really should be with this many things to subscribe to. Does also include the railway replacer mod, which we think I've discussed many times in the past. I haven't had time to get down with. Let me just show you this first intersection. Sweeping, I mean, it's really taking up all the room that it really wants to here. And in a good way, because it's well away from the build plane. I don't mind these slip roads, but there's a bit of a shoulder going on. Notice also we are elevated here as well, but we've got a bit of a shoulder going on here. I'm just going to fix this first one. The rest of them I'm going to leave be. So wait till that pops out. Now we've created the jinky janky here, which I'm just going to smooth out there. And the next one is a little jinky janky there, which just needs straightening up, and everything is fine. So 3 little pops there would fix that particular shoulder. But yes, you'll notice that we have elevated roads down at ground level, and that's caused a slight problem there with a street lamp clipping through. And then over here you'll notice the merge lanes. I'm actually okay with these. I think they work okay. Not the greatest merge lanes we've seen, but they are right. I mean, they're more than acceptable. Let's put it that way, more than acceptable. Right, so yes, we've got elevated roads almost throughout, except for where they aren't, and they're quite obviously not where they aren't. This intersection here, elevated roundabout. I'm going to point out the pillars on this one. We've got 3 pillars really close together. It kind of indicates, both sides, that it needs a lot of support. But then in between the pillars, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. So maybe if we were to move the pillars out so they're more equidistant, or had a pillar in the centre of the roundabout, in the central reservation, that would probably look a little bit more sturdier. But anyway, yes, what we've got here is just showing you the terrain glitching here. It is caused by the elevated road pushed down too deep. Let me straighten this up and just remove the road just for a moment so you can see. So, boop, there you go, perfectly flat lands just by simply deleted the road. Replace the road, pings it back in again. So yes, that is a little problem that we're going to see a lot throughout today's show, and not just on the road. Again, easily fixed by upgrading and putting it back down to ground level, but it's just a little annoyance really. Another hardish shoulder looking there, and then another one right here. Again, I'm not smoothing any more out today, that is fine. This is a high capacity intersection that will deal with an awful lot of traffic, and I quite like it. I don't like the elevated roads underneath. It just makes it look, well, weird. Wow, okay, right, moving on. I told you we're going to fly over this rather quickly today. There's a lot going on today. Got some jinky jankies going on with the roads right here. There you go. Straighten that out. Pop it into place. Be lovely. And then going to bounce over the water. Sorry about that. That is because the when you're flying, the game it maintains your height to the actual mesh. And that is very deep water there. So suddenly you go, you sink massively. Okay, what we go? I want to show you also the forests here. We just select the entire road section here. No trees underneath the roads. That is very good to see and very rare as well. Moving on a bit further, we're going to this next intersection. This is the start square and that lovely pointy roundabout thing. Some really nice water detailing and rock detailing in the middle here. But we will have a look at these highway ramps because the highway ramps are a little bit of an issue. Just a little bit of an issue. Possible start square traffic flow issues going on here. Like we've got a little bit of grass or foliage hopping through, but that's fine. That's not a huge issue at all. So anyway, the traffic comes down off of the highway, down this road here, onto the roundabout. But immediately afterwards, we've got the on-ramp. So you can have traffic crossing over each other at the busiest point right there. I think we had this in yesterday's show, if I remember rightly. Then you've got the start square build area. Look at this. This is nice. It really does feel very aesthetically pleasing, this area as well. And just want to show you a little area that I think has been put in specifically to appease the BonBonB. Right, so over here we've got a waterfront. And we have got the vanilla jetty. Now I think maybe this is the best, most overworked vanilla jetty I have seen in nearly 800 episodes. Oh, 800 episodes. Look at the detailing around here. It is sublime. It's been clipped in lovely. Somebody has gone out to impress, and they really have impressed there. But the question is, have we got an asset? Oh, we do. Look, it's just moored up. That was good timing. Well done. It's the Coast Guard Cutter Static by Vecchio Cristo. A little floating prop here that won't swim off anywhere, won't be pushed off by any tsunamis or anything like that. Or maybe it will. Factoids, because factoids. On this day, November the 30th of 1874, Sir Winston Churchill was born. One of the most popular British politicians ever, and the winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1953. But it was not always a success. In fact, he was bottom of the class for much of his time at Harrow, and only managed to get into Sandhurst Military Academy at the third attempt. There you go, Sir Winston Churchill, our greatest ever Prime Minister. Won the war single-handedly, you know. Coast Guard Cutter Static by Vecchio Cristo. That's today's asset of the day. That's certainly what we tell ourselves over here. Winston Churchill, we won the war just because of him. No help at all from anybody else. Yeah, the Allies? What Allies? It was a single-handed process. And my voice is going. Right, back with you. Right, so we've got a lot of highways going on here. There are 5 different directions these are going. I've not checked all of them to see whether they all go in the right directions, but a few of them just look a little bit clunky, like 6 lanes into 4 lanes into 3 lanes in a short spell of time. And then we've got some that just about dip their toes in the water, which I'm promising you concrete won't like in the long run. And then we just keep rolling and back up, and it's just a little bit clunky again here and there. Like here, we got these down ramps where it was down ramping onto an elevated section at ground level. Does it make any sense at all? Not really to me. Nice swooping intersection here, no grumbles about that really. And then it's all just a little bit clunky, but still solid. A very, very well networked map. Nice intersection here that gives you a secondary start location. And that left-hand road will take us across to this edge of map island for us to start building over here as well without having to build a custom intersection over here. Very slick. Now down to the rail. Now the rail is mostly elevated all the way. Let me show you that. Let's pick out one node there. elevate it up. There you go, didn't need to change it. It was already elevated at ground level. And of course it means we can see these little ruined sections of the ground. Nice bridge, by the way. Yeah, ruined sections of the ground where the pillars are. Now, portals for the catenaries. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, whether this is me, whether it's the mod, whether it's the creator, and therefore I'm not going to put any blames, but we obviously have catenary wires and no portals, and so I do need to learn the railway replacer mod. I need to get my head around it fully so that I know whether the where the fault lands. Until that point, I'm going to assume it's always me, although I don't believe that it is. There you go. Does that make sense? I think it probably does a little bit. Yes, I'll take the blame even though I don't think it's my fault. Okay, right. We've got a nice little slip off this way underneath the highways. And it's a very, very slick route. I've got to say that I do think this is a very well thought out network. If possibly a little bit too extensive in places. Heading up this way into a divot there. And again, through another divot there. No big elevation issues required, and it's all very slick. It's just, I'll say, why are we elevated? That's always going to be the thing. The whole thing about today's show, is it elevated while it doesn't need to be? I think the answer to that is yes. And then this heads off towards the edge of the map. Got a nice little detailed area going on here. I'm going to say these river rocks, so you see how they glitch a little bit. They stretch out when you put them onto the cliff. Can't really see it so well there. It doesn't look too bad there, but when we come from above, you'll see it's sort of like little dots and then like drawn out stones. And then off to the edge of the map, which means only one thing.
Are you having trouble keeping roundabouts around when you connect other roads? Do you wonder how on earth do other people manage this? Then you need BonBonB's Guide to Perfect Roundabouts. Click the information button now.
And so back to Rocky Green Valley by stevensdomi. And we've got a shipping route there which doesn't seem to connect to the rest, which is a little odd. Everything else, I don't mind that too much, the right angle junction right on the edge of the map, because nobody's going to really see it. This bridge too high? Sorry, not high enough even? Not sure. Very hard to tell. Let me come back into this view here. It looks a little bit low for the cruiser, but I can't say for certain until we send one through there. Benefit of the doubt, right angle turning there right in the middle of the map. That is a bad one. And then we've got some sharpish turnings here, but they are workable, I think. And then off this way, and then more bridges, and then more intersection, junction, shipping route things. It's all very slick and all well covered. Just a few potential sharp turnings for the ships to take, and that bridge definitely looks high enough, doesn't it? Anyway, there we go. Water flow. We have a river running through the start square, and there's good water flow on it. It's wide, it's deep enough. I think that is definitely going to work for, well, any decent map, and good water flow down here for expanding down into. So yes, very, very solid work with the water flow. Now the map as a whole, there are some really nice aspects to it. Like we have this intersection here we haven't looked at. There's a few other intersections we've not looked at, and they are all really interesting, really solid, and nicely decorated, this one as well, with the two roundabout style tree decorations going on there. Another intersection down here with the rock work from the Park Life DLC, although you don't need a DLC to have that. Everything looks pretty solid there, good heights, good tree decorating as well, nice and tidy. And then what more have we got? There's plenty of things. Like, I do like some of the rock work on this map. This is probably my least favourite bit. It looks kind of like a rock fall, but you see how the stone doesn't actually blend in too well with the hill. Doesn't look like anything has actually fallen down there. And the theme colours are slightly different from the actual rock colours. So I don't really buy into that one at all. So we'll ignore that one. But there are some really good ones. A nice bit of rock detailing around the outside of this shall we say, fictional water spawn. Yes, it's a fantasy map. And so we'll let that go. It looks okay, and it does the job, and it's quite tidy. I'd like to see some stones on the opposite side here, because that's where the stones would be washing onto, wouldn't they? Right, let's have a little look over here. Oh, hang on. Now, let's have a look at this. This looks sort of like a quarry. Kind of like this area. Kind of like it. Again, not my favourite part on the whole map, but it is very tidy. I've got to say, I never buy into these caves, or very rarely do I buy into the... If you can ever get that to work in a map, then you know you've done well. And I'd rather it weren't there. And we've got everybody's favourite factory. There's another one on the map somewhere as well, but we've done that now. Up here we've got... now this I like. Okay, this I buy into. Fantasy map again. And the rocks really do seem to work up there. And I think that is excellent work there. Even with the towering rock there as well. It just all comes together very nicely. That's a good piece of work. Let me pull back there. I know there's more stuff on here that we haven't had a look at yet. Like we have it's a castle. Now this is a big castle ground. And there's a few things about it that I would rather have gone without. Like these muddy decals down there. I mean, it looks amazing, doesn't it? But do we really need them on the map itself? And then, if you have a look at there, we have that footpath running from the muddy decal area into the actual castle itself. And this is a garden path decal. And honestly, I'd rather have just seen a standard footpath drawn out and across. If you're going to do it, might as well do that. I actually don't mind on this map for some reason the outer wall going through these towers. I can kind of see an argument for the wall being built first and the towers being built around them. And it is, well, it's the same all the way around pretty much. So it's consistent. And I kind of buy into that. The door entrance is in the right place as well. At the end there, they are open towers. Another one there that's an open tower. That one's almost an open tower. But yes, everywhere else we have that wall going. I don't say and I approve, but I can see an argument for it. And therefore, I can't mark it down because I can see an argument. Now we have these lovely fields. Now, I don't really go for these as well in a standard map build. Because these are decal type things. And well, they're props. And if you pull back, they fade out. You haven't got to pull back that far and they're gone completely. So if somebody building their city wants to put them in, then that kind of works for me. But as part of a map build, I don't really feel they add anything. Although, I think Mr. Miyagi has some that don't actually fade out at all, which is, again, I'm sure it's Mr. Miyagi who did them, and I think that's highly, well, a pat on the back for that sort of work. Right, what have we got? We've got some more rock work going on here, and a lovely fantasy little river going on there. Again, it's not outstanding, but it's definitely doing its job, and I can't really fault it. We'll head over this way, and there's more stuff over here. Oh, I've got to show you this one. Now, I recorded this one, but I switched the fog off as well so you can see where we're going. I thought this was the outstanding essential lighthouse. When I get down to the end here, I find it's just the ordinary essential lighthouse. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good work, but it's not outstanding work. It's fine. I don't really buy into the rocks as they are on that one. But I know that there is another one around here somewhere, so I'm doing a little scour around looking for... Oh, look at this island. This is a BonBonB island. I like it's good shape, good size, looks good as well. I'd like to see a slightly sandier beach where we've got the cove. But I think that is spot on for a BonBonB island. Yeah, more sand in that cove would look great. But yes, so that's a result for that one. Take a star for that one, stevensdomi. And what more have we got? We're looking for this other line. Oh, we've got some dams. A couple of dams already in place, powering up the city before you get started. Bit of blue mantle there. Ugh, horrible, horrible blue mantle. I'm looking around. I know there's another essential lighthouse around here, 7. That's not it. We will find it. I'm going to keep hunting. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it is. Wait until you see this fella. That is what I'm talking about. That just looks right. Looks chunky. It's worked really well into the props and the stones as well. And then, unfortunately, we do have, again, the prop decal garden path leading down here. I'd rather that, again, was just left bland, left it empty. And that'd be as good. Anyways, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide that. What do I think? I think it's got a shout. I think it's got a solid shout, this map. Okay, aesthetically. Aesthetically, I think it's good. It's good. Is it outstanding? No. But is it good enough to earn a 4th star? I'm going to say yes, but only just. So I'm going to pop in there with the 4th star for aesthetics. Detailing. Again, it's kind of between 3 and 4 stars. But once again, I think overall, while there are some things that need tidying up and a big grumble about elevated highways, I think it just squeezes into that 4th star category. Again, only just. Gameplay potential. Lot of gameplay potential here. Possibly too many highways down already, but it's not the worst thing. Very playable map. I'm going to go 4 stars for gameplay as well. Rocky Green Valley by stevensdomi. That's a really nice map, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it the BonBonB seal of approval. The new improved seal of approval. Doesn't score you any more points, but it looks a bit better than the old one. Well, thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing, for joining me for another map in that What Map series. We'll have another one on Monday, and of course we'll have a Steam Weekly chart tomorrow. And we've got an old map on the screen now. Oh yes, and there are 3 more quick tips as well on the new tutorial series that I've been doing. Lots of things for you to watch. I'll leave you with the play button, and I'll see you very, very soon.